first video on DiamondFire I made May 12, 2020. Second video I made about DiamondFire today. Welcome guys to another episode. Today DiamondFire time. Also, I'm wearing a duck skin for whatever reason. Anyways, today's tutorial is gonna be about custom enchants and essentially how you can code a custom enchanting system, like the one you see on the server. How's it called? The Cosmic PvP, where you just grab a book and you drag on it and it enchants. Now on that server there's success chances and fail chances. We're not gonna implement that, though I'm probably gonna implement it on another tutorial and another video. If this video gets, like, I don't know, 2 likes. If this video gets 2 likes, I'm gonna show you how to do the same system but with success chances and destroy chances and fail chances and stuff like that, and whatever chances. So yeah, let's get to program. Anyways, so first of all, here's why do I have this in here? First of all, we just add a player join event and we just give it the items we want. We just use item management, give items. Let's just say we give it a diamond sword and the enchantment book. Now you can't just use a normal enchanted book and essentially hide the enchant. However, that just means that the book itself will also have the enchant, which we don't want. So just grab whatever item that isn't an enchanted book and just say change item enchanted underscore book. Now we have an enchanted book. I'm gonna use names to store the enchant. You can use whatever you want, but using names is much simpler. Then we just add a debugging system in here. We add game value number 1, and in this game value is plot values player count, just like this. So it only triggers if the player that joined is the only player that joined at the moment, if it's the first player that joined at the moment. And we just create a couple of lists. So we just create a list, and also create a list. The 2 lists will be stored in variables, of course. We call this swords list, and over here sword enchant list, and there we go. Now we just need to copy our items. We drop the sword in the sword list and the sword enchant in the enchant list. Now first I'm gonna show you, now because using the system to kind of detect when the player clicks an item in their own inventory requires a rank, emperor rank, on the server. First I'm gonna show the method where you just right click, and then I'm gonna show the method where you have to click the item in your inventory. So we just add a player event, right click event, and we use if play, and not if player, rather if variable, two if variables. So essentially each one of this is list contains value. We get our 2 lists, sword list and sword enchant list, and we have sword list and sword enchant list in there, and then we grab 2 game values. We go to event value, we go to item values, main hand item of default target, and then item values, offhand default, and then what we do is we first of all store some information. Over here we're gonna grab a variable, we're gonna save it we're gonna name it %default percent default is gonna be replaced with the name of the player. So essentially, we're just making it player based, basically. Percent default item to enchant. There we go. Percent default item to enchant. And in this other set variable, we're just gonna say percent default enchant to add. And since we're using names, it's very simple. So first of all, we grab our two game values and main hand item in to be set as the item to enchant, and then offhand item enchant to add. However, this will add the item as an enchant in our code. We don't want to do that. Instead, we want to get its name as a text variable to then add it to the lore of our item, which essentially is a good way of tracking what enchants are on the item at the moment. So we're just gonna go to item manipulation and then get item name. Easy as that. Then we just get rid of them using item management, remove items, and we just grab our two main hand and offhand. We just grab our two game values, and right now, if we test it, so like this, they get removed. But if you check the plot the plot vars, we have the lists, and we also have this. So we have the item, which is the diamond sword, and as the item to enchant, and then the enchant to add is critical 5. So instead of storing, the item, it's stored a txt, which is short for text, which is what we want. Then we just do a few things. So over here we just create a new variable, percent default item to enchant lore, and then we grab our percent default item to enchant and put it in here. And then what we do is in here we just put item manipulation, get item lore, which just gets a list of texts, and then what we do is just say list manipulation, append value, so we want to append it to this, and then we just add the value, right? Yeah, any values. So there can be multiple values. We're just gonna add the variable percent default enchant to add. So now we have the lore that we want to add, but the item still won't have the lore, not even in the variable. Instead, we just have a separate value that is a list of texts, and that stores all of our lores, but we didn't actually add it. So instead, let's add a set variable over here, and then we just add a list manipulation, not a list manipulation, item manipulation, set item lore. We grab the percent default item to enchant, and to enchant lore, and here's what we do. So first of all, what it wants is the variable to save it in, the item, and then the text. So we can just give it percent default item to enchant, then give it the same thing again because we want to modify itself, and then percent default item to enchant lore, which is what we want. And then at the end we just give the player percent default item to enchant. And if we did this correctly, when we right click, we get a new sword with critical 5 on it. That's how you enchant it. And if you're wondering how to detect enchants, you just put events and essentially just get the lore. You first get a type. Now the problem with this method is that because its lore is different, you can't enchant it again. There is a simple way around that, by essentially just getting the name of it, but since it's just one item and one enchant, we're not gonna do that. It's just overcomplicating things. So yeah, this is the right click method, or the rankless method, since you don't actually need a rank for it. You just need basic understanding of, well, logic. And yeah, let's get to the click item in our inventory method. Alrighty, so first thing, item events, where click on inventory, if variable, very similar to before. Sword list, sword enchant list, sword enchant list, and then this, then we grab two game values, and event value, item event, and then event value, not event value, and then item value, cursor item, default player, just like this. Then we store them into variables. Percent default item to enchant, percent default enchant to add, and then of course over here get item name. Now we just copy the game values we have over here, so event item and cursor item, target default. So we set percent default item to enchant to event item, and then percent default enchant to add to cursor item, well actually to the name of the cursor item. Then we what we do is we remove the event item. Then we just go over here and we set the item cursor to nothing, which means that will clear the item we have in our cursor. So if we test this, and figure out why it's not working, like that. List contains value. So if we do this, they get removed, they get destroyed completely, but if we check the plot vars, they are there, meaning and also if you leave, there are no more variables left, since they are not saved variables, meaning they will not be saved when the player leaves. Then over there, and then over here we just do the same thing. We create a new variable, percent default item to enchant lore, and then of course we just item management, get item lore, and we just get the item lore of the item to enchant, or just the event item if you like, and then so we get the lore, and then what we do is we append to this list. The percent default enchant to add, and then we set the item's lore equal to, where is it, here and here, so this there, this there, this there, and then we just give the player the percent default item to enchant, and boom! Just, I don't know what that sound was. Critical 5 on our sword. It does nothing. Maybe in the next tutorial I'll show you also how to make your custom enchants actually do stuff, because it's not really that hard. Anyways, bye.